What's up, guys? Dom here with Restricted America. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today I wanted to actually read you guys an article. It's from Boston University News Service. I wanted to read this because obviously you can tell from the title, this is going to be a very anti-gun liberal point of view. I wanted to read this basically because I feel like sometimes, the gun community does live in a little bit of an echo chamber. I am not endorsing these ideas by any means, but I want to kind of show you how they're thinking of it. And again, I am going to point out the ridiculousness of it, of some of these points that they're trying to make. So bear with me. This is Boston University News Service, and the article is named "The Gun Violence Epidemic, Should Massachusetts Students Worry?" This was September 18th, 2024, and this is by Alan Tucker. In light of the Appalachia school shooting in Georgia on September 4th, the conversation regarding gun violence and gun control has once again been making national news. While the gun violence epidemic, again, I already disagree with the phrasing of that, could strike far away, local Massachusetts parents and students feel the concern of this public health crisis reaching their doorsteps. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed in Winder, Georgia, making it the deadliest school shooting in the United States since March 2023. The recent tragedy keeps in trend with the growing number of deaths of children and teenagers due to firearms, which claimed responsibility for 18% of childhood deaths in 2022, according to the CDC Prevention Wonder database. Back in the Northeast, students at Boston University are expressing their fears and discomfort with the rise of gun violence in schools in recent years. Boston University students demand action. SDA chapter is one of many organizations in Massachusetts looking to make schools a safer place for students and faculty. Let's see if they say what they're actually doing. Going to classes the next day after something like Georgia is stressful and something very difficult, said SDA Vice President Sarah Bors. There are people at a university this big that have experienced gun violence or are survivors of gun violence. Gun violence surpassed car accidents in 2020 as the leading cause of death to children and teens in the U.S., but Massachusetts is working to fight against contribution to this statistic. Every Town for Gun Safety ranks Massachusetts 5th in the country for gun loss strength, contributing to its second lowest gun death rate among the states. Again, there's no evidence that contributes to that. And then they include a chart sorting its state and rank. I'm going to include this linked into the description. But it's gun loss strength, composite score against gun violence rate, gun deaths per 100,000 residents. California has the strongest gun laws, but they still have a higher gun violence rate than Massachusetts, which is rated 4 levels below. Again, I'm going to include this in the description so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, basically, these numbers, this chart makes no sense, because if you're saying stronger gun laws contributes to lower gun violence rate, this doesn't show that. But enough about that. So former Congressman Gabby Giffords, we all love Gabby Gifford in the gun community. Gabby Gifford's organization's Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence reports that as the national rate of gun deaths increased by 36% nationwide from 2013 to 2022, Massachusetts' rate only increased by 18%. Despite this statistic, faculty must still prepare for the risk of gun violence. We had 18%, but yet we still need a huge omnibus gun bill to literally make us the worst state for the Second Amendment in this country. But, okay. After the shooting in Lewiston, Maine last fall, I learned that no area is safe from the threat of gun violence, said Emily Cummings, assistant teacher at the BU Children's Center. As long as there are guns, there is a risk. And as long as we are in a school, we are a target. And again, I do understand the fear that a lot of these kids have. There are school shootings. Law enforcement doesn't seem to be reacting fast enough to a lot of these things. When a school shooting does happen, which again, I don't think is as often as they're trying to make it out to be, They gets a lot of news coverage, and a lot of kids see that, a lot of teachers see that, and they get nervous. That's fair to assess that, but the way in that they're going about trying to enact change and better protect these kids is not the right way. There should be cops should have no guns. Obviously, criminals should have no guns, and regular people, sane people, should have no guns, because it inevitably makes you less safe. Getting better security at schools, because again, you're not going to magically make everyone's guns disappear. That's not going to happen. So, in addition to the gun control debate resurfacing following the tragedy in Georgia, this November's general election provides a platform where many politicians run with this debate being a key promise of their campaign. Many voters' decisions will be affected by a candidate's position on gun control in the upcoming election. As a teacher, Cummings sees the issue as a make or break in determining whether she will cast her votes. Gun control is a huge issue among the teaching community, she said. Being a teacher is already hard enough without the worry of you and your students being in mortal danger. While many members of the Democratic Party, including President Joe Biden, have called for stricter gun legislation nationwide, guns have been a major feature in many Republican campaigns. For example, the controversial advertisement paid for Brian Kemp featuring the current Georgia governor putting a gun at a young man. I don't know about that advertisement, so I can't speak on that. Many voters resonate with this media, including the 4.3 million members of the National Rifle Association, the most prominent gun rights lobbying organization in the nation. Despite many candidates expressing their individual ideas of appropriate gun legislation, Boers was disappointed that gun violence was not addressed enough in last Tuesday's presidential debate hosted by ABC. Again, I don't like that phrase gun violence. Why don't we just call it knife violence? Crimes that happen with a knife. Makes no sense. There was not a single question asked, but it's something that's directly affecting every community, especially young students, she said. Yeah, and it's true. I'm not to get political, but that debate, they didn't ask any questions besides hard questions for Trump. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Presidential candidates hold conflicting views on what gun control should look like in the U.S., while Vice President Kamala Harris, a gun owner, they're now touting she's a gun owner. Like, what does she own? A BB gun? Vows to push for stricter gun control legislation nationwide. Former President Donald Trump supports rolling back Biden-era gun restrictions. For Boers, they need to pay attention. If politicians really want to appeal to young vote, we are in the schools. And that's the whole article. So, obviously I have a lot of issues with what Kamala Harris, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name. I will probably get into that in another video. Again, not trying to be political. I just like to stick to the single issue of the Second Amendment, and obviously she represents a lot of issues for the Second Amendment. But guys, I wanted to read that article to kind of show you what the other side reasons they're thinking with, the fact that they're saying kids and teachers are fearful. I understand that. That's the one point in this article that actually makes any kind of sense. But what I would say is their solution to that, basically just saying, let's get rid of all guns, is the absolute opposite of what is the actual good solution. And again, I'll get into that in more videos, but I just think that their thinking is very convoluted. But again, guys, I just wanted to show you that, get a little bit different of a perspective. I know you won't agree with this. I don't agree with pretty much 99.9% of this article. But I saw this pop up. I wanted to, actually show you what their thinking is. If you enjoyed these types of videos, please give it a like. If you have any questions or concerns, which I'm sure you will have some problems with this article, please put them down in the comment section. If you are not subscribed, make sure to do that now. And other than that, guys, stay informed and stay unrestricted.